What's up, guys? Jedi Warrior back again, and today I'm doing my second Lego Star Wars set review, and I talked about why I wanted to do this in my last video, the Pose X-Wing review, and this set came out the same year from The Force Awakens, and it is pretty well the pride of my Star Wars collection. It's the 2015 Millennium Falcon, which never thought I'd get. Wasn't even on my list. I wanted it, but my thought process was there's no way I'm going to get this, so there's no point even wasting the time writing it down. That Christmas, I got it. Totally surprised. But my point, it wasn't on my list, but there ain't a sane Lego Star Wars fan that would take this back. The figures you get are the old Han Solo, Chewbacca, Finn, Rey, BB-8, I think it's Balatik, and a Kanji Club gang member, which looks pretty weird. But to start with, the old Han Solo has it's Robin's hair from the DC superheroes, but it's gray, which works for him actually. Didn't think that would work, but it looks pretty good to me. But other than that, he pretty much just looks like a regular Han Solo, just with an older face. He comes with a short blaster pistol. Chewbacca. Now, this is a different figure for me. I don't think his legs are printed, and I know his torso is not, because his headpiece, that also contains his bandolier, goes on over it, and it's like a whole over-the-top head mold. The bandolier is actually molded on there. You can actually feel it. You can feel some fur. And he's got his blue eyes are painted on there, but you can actually feel like the indentation for him. On the back of it, you have the bandolier continuing, but other than that, it's mostly just fur. It's always been a really cool part to me. But he has a crossbow that actually fires. It's a modified stud shooter, which was a surprise to me, because I'd seen Chewbacca before I got this set, but he'd always had just the standard old crossbow mold, and I got this and was pretty surprised. I think since then that's the one they've been using, which is cool to me. And then Finn, the only Finn that I have so far, is pretty cool. He comes with a blaster rifle. I don't really know much about what he looks like, but that hairpiece is extremely useful if you're trying to make a custom character. I ended up giving mine a lightsaber as well. And then Rey, I prefer the Rey Speeder version of Rey, which I'll get to that review eventually. But that version just has more related to her character, whereas this one just has her with a blaster pistol. I've always liked the hairpiece with like the triple braid or triple bun thing going down the back. I don't do hairstyles, period, so I don't really know what it's called. But I've also always liked her character, which helps with liking the figures. BB-8, he was in my last video that I did. He's just a two-part character, which is basically a ball with a little half ball on top of it. He's printed all the way around. He's orange and white. It looks really cool. BB-8's a cool character. When I first saw him, my original comment was, "This dude's adorable." And he is. And then you have Balatik, which I don't know much about him. I'm not sure if that's a hairpiece or like some kind of hood that he's wearing, but he has one of the old musket pieces. The might be a Guavian Death Game member. I'm not sure which clan it is. the other character has two of the old revolver type molds and a hairpiece that it's brown, but could have been on Qui-Gon if it was gray. I just thought he looks cool. But onto the ship itself, this thing is huge. This thing is at least it's at least a foot long, maybe more. But on the front with the mandibles, you have two yellow flat studs for headlights, and just past or just rear of that, you have two circular things with a hole in the center. If you put your finger in there, you feel the tail of a spring-loaded shooter. You can push down on that, and that will go flying. Which I said in the last video how much I dislike. It really exposed shooters like this, and this one did not disappoint. They are buried in there so deep it took me forever to find them. You have the cockpit, which comes off. The canopy comes off in one piece, but it's actually a few pieces that are hooked together. Inside you have a control panel with a control stick. And if you really squeeze them in there, you can get both Han and Chewie in there. It's a tight squeeze, especially with the weapons, but you can manage it if you turn the crossbow for Chewbacca. Going back from there, you have what looks like the top of the passageway going back from the cockpit, and almost touches the turret, so I'm assuming that's where it's leading. And on either side, at the widest point, you have what I think is the airlocks. And there's a little diamond piece on the outside of it that I think is the hatch to open it. And then the engine area in the back uses a blue hose piece for the, I consider it iconic, the blue fire coming out of the back of the engines for the thrust. And then you come all the way around, almost to the front again, you have the radar dish. And the main difference between this, other than it being, or the main difference between this and the original trilogy Falcon, other than it being gray instead of white, is it's square instead of circular. And then right in the middle, you have a turret. They're called quad lasers in the movie, but it's basically a four-barreled turret that you can spin all the way around and raise and lower, but it's kind of stiff to raise and lower. And this actually opens. You pull up on a little platform that slides in sideways, goes down the wall. You can fit two characters in there, one to man the top and one to man the bottom turret, because there is one on the bottom that is basically a carbon copy of this, but it doesn't open. And you can actually open all of this set up. You go between them, mandibles on the front, and there's a thing that rolls forward. You bring it forward, and it just fell off, of course. Over a little time, this set got just a bit old and decrepit on me. And then I bring the radar dish plate up, or the plate that has the radar dish up first, and then bring the two on either side of it up. And then you can only pull parts of the front up, but the entire back can open up, and it almost opens up like a pie. That's kind of the impression I got. And starting on the inside, to the right of the mandibles, left actually if you're flying it away from you, you have the gaming area for the ship. The gaming table piece is actually a Captain America shield piece with a sticker on it, which I found interesting at first. And that's actually on a clip with a little bill below it to attach it to the attach it to the floor. You have a wraparound seating area with 3 seats, but I've only been able to put 2 people in there because this middle seat is kind of at an angle. You have a 4th seat in front of a control panel that's actually right below and forward of the turret. And that seat can lean forward and back. I usually keep it forward all the way unless someone's in it because it doesn't take up as much space. There's a big control panel there. You go backward to the right or left again if it's flying away from you. And there's a little plate that flips up, and there's a little compartment under the floorboards, which I think kind of symbolizes the smuggling department from the movie. What the heck? Hang on. Just had one of the plates fall off on me. And then in the back, there's 2 beds here, which I think is supposed to be like a medical center type thing. And you come around the back further, there's some controls and a little box that opens that has a sticker on top, which looks like a spacesuit. I think it's supposed to be like the escape pod hatch and controls. There's a tube running along the floor, which I don't know how you can do that and not trip over it. There's a little what looks like a little control station opposite of the control panel and seat in the front, but this one just has two control levers. There's two clips, one on each side. I think one of mine is missing. But one of these has a wrench and one of them's empty. I personally put the weapon of whoever I stationed there in that clip. And then opposite of the hidden panel, or the hidden compartment on the other side, is the ramp that drops down, but good luck trying to put someone on it. Like they're standing on the ramp, they're going to get hit in the head with the top of the hull. Let me close all this up. It is a little bit gappy around the edges of the plates, especially in the back, but the front doesn't seem to have much of that problem. And the recent one from 2019 fixed that problem, which I didn't really perceive it as a problem. I thought it was okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the set. Like I said, this is the pride and joy of my collection. I love the Falcon. I always have. So it's been one of my favorite ships. And this is definitely my first number one set, but there are a lot of other good ones. Hopefully we'll be able to get to those. But that's it for now. Peace out.